Hello everyone, this is part 3 of What If Naruto Was Betrayed and Planned It All, and I hope you guys enjoy this video and to like, to subscribe, and check out the playlist, to see more comment down below. Now let's start the intro.
They call me a god. They call me a god. They call me a god.
Naruto was currently standing in front of the third Hokage himself. Once they had made it into the tower, they had confirmed that they were done and had gotten Sasuke to the medics so as to make sure that he was fine. No one could do anything about the seal on Sasuke's neck as it was too complex and integrated. While everyone was taking time off at the tower and waiting for everyone else to finish, Naruto had made a clone to hold his place while he went to talk to the Hokage. As he stood there, the Sandaime was getting increasingly nervous about Naruto's presence in his office. Lately the two had kept the distance and only talked when something important was about to be made known. He wondered what was about to happen. It was bound to be an important discussion for Naruto to have come to his office. The moment Naruto walked in, the cage activated the privacy seal, knowing that it was going to be important. Naruto was simply staring at him. In his mind, Naruto was laughing. It was fun to let the Hokage sit there and squirm in his illustrious chair. Finally Naruto decided to end it. There are two things I want to know about and you will answer my questions honestly. Do you understand me? Hiruzen nodded. Good. The first is Orochimaru. That psychopath put a seal on Sasuke. What was it and why? The Sandaime's face grew grim. That seal was something we know very little about. Even though Orochimaru was my student, I failed to see what he was. As he continued to descend into madness and darkness, he started experimenting on people. Very little is known about it, but that seal is called the Curse Seal. It has a very low survivability rate. However, we don't know much other than that, and that it grants the user power but at the cost of Orochimaru being able to use it to influence them to a certain degree. Quote. Alright, the other thing I wanted to know about is Itachi. What about him? What happened the night of the massacre? We don't know much other than that he killed his entire clan before they could react and that he left his brother alive. From what Sasuke told us, Itachi wanted him to let his anger and hatred grow until he was strong enough to challenge him. It seems he wanted Sasuke to grow into a worthy opponent in his eyes. Then do tell me, why Itachi came to me that night making me promise that I would help Sasuke stay on the right path and get stronger. The old man was now gaping in shock. Naruto had never told him about this. What do you mean? What happened? I already told you what happened. Now you tell me why Itachi seemed to be acting. With me or with Sasuke he was acting. Though if he wanted Sasuke to grow in his hatred, I doubt he would have come to me at all. Now speak. I can see it in your eyes, you are hiding something. I already told you that I want the truth. It has been denied me for so long until recently, and now you will speak. The Hokage sighed. Naruto was beginning to be the source of a few headaches lately. Naruto, I want you to understand that if what I am about to tell you ever leaves your mouth, even to your inner circle, then I will have no choice but to put you to death. That does sound important. I understand. Now speak. I hope you know that I am telling you a secret that was supposed to stay buried. So was my secret. Now stop stalling and talk. The relations between the Uchiha and the rest of the village have never been great. They got even worse after the Kyuubi attacked. Many thought they saw the Sharingan in its eyes, and the only person to have ever controlled that monster was Madara Uchiha. Eventually Itachi came to me and told me about how the Uchiha were planning a coup d'etat. We knew that if they did this it would cause many more deaths than we caused by doing what we did. You had Itachi kill his clan so as to spare as many lives as possible. But let me guess, he wouldn't kill Sasuke. Couldn't would be more accurate. He came to me pleading for his younger brother's life. However, I know that if Sasuke remained alive, Itachi could never remain in the village. I told him the cost would be to become a missing nin. He quickly complied with the cast. Anything to protect the one he cared for more than the village. The Hokage nodded. I find it amazing, Hiruzen. The third flinched at the way he said the name. What? The fact that you personally created some of the worst enemies this village has ever faced. Itachi, Orochimaru, and depending on how things go it is quite possible that I and or Sasuke could be enemies of this village. Naruto, list. No. You listen, old man. You said that the seal somehow influences people. You created Orochimaru, and in turn he could change Sasuke into an enemy. If the seal influences people, what better thing for him to influence than Sasuke's hatred of his brother? This and many other things are your fault. I can only imagine what else has stemmed as a consequence of your actions. That fact is inescapable. Hiruzen knew it was true. But then he realized the time. Naruto, I need to ask that you excuse me for now. I have something very important to do. Of course. Naruto turned to leave. Just as he got to the door he stopped. I know that I can't call on information from you forever, so I will be expecting one more favor from you that you cannot refuse. Then the debt will be cleared away. Naruto said before leaving. It wasn't like Hiruzen could exactly argue. However, it wasn't like Hiruzen wasn't trying to fix some of them. Especially those pertaining to Naruto. Only problem was that he was having trouble rectifying an important right now and hoped that he was able to get it done soon, before something happened that couldn't be undone. Break. Naruto was currently sitting in a chair at his home. The clone was still standing his place back at the tower. He was currently making up a few plans and contingencies. His fight against Orochimaru showed him something. The Hokage didn't know that he wasn't using the greatest one of the greatest libraries to ever exist in order to get stronger. His threats would be empty if he couldn't get stronger. Orochimaru swatted him away like a fly without much trouble. And to think, in a one-on-one direct fight the Sandaime was above Orochimaru. He wanted to protect certain people, but how could he do that if he was too weak? He needed to grow stronger. Now, how to do that without revealing himself too soon? Then an idea popped into his head. It was going to cause some migraines, but it was worth it. He went outside and quickly created several hundred clones. You all know what to do. Get to it. We have too many things to do and not enough time to do it. Organize your squads and do your jobs. I will be in my office planning for the things to come. Naruto said. The clones gave their salute of their right fist over their hearts and their left arm folded behind their lower back. He needed this plan to work. If his own suspicions were correct, and from what he knew about Orochimaru from everything he was able to dig up in such a short time, then his plan needed to work or people would die. He needed these pieces. If he didn't have them, then things would go wrong. Things are escalating. And I'm up against someone who has already shown that as insane as he is no idiot. Orochimaru was here for a reason, not just to give Sasuke his curse mark, but something more. If I'm right, then things are reaching a climax. One of the many that are to come. Break. To say that Naruto was becoming increasingly not happy about the way things were going would be a major understatement. He was quite toughly pissed. Orochimaru had fought with Anko, resulting in her using a kamikaze move to try and kill him. She was reckless, almost died. Her anger at Orochimaru blinded her. Then there was the preliminaries. They had started relatively well, Shino had won his easily enough and Sasuke had also managed. However, he was disappointed at how weak Sakura was. She and Ino tied, but the match was almost pathetic. It lasted longer than some of the others, but Naruto was left underwhelmed. It got better as Naruto almost broke his third neck. While Shino, Hinata, and he had grown stronger, Neji was still stronger than Hinata. When he went in for the killing blow, Naruto saw it immediately and shunshined down before catching the boy by the neck. Neji's momentum let his feet keep moving just enough for them to come off the ground, and that suited Naruto just fine. Neji was taller, but it didn't matter, his feet were dangling as he was held off the ground. Everyone was shocked. They never expected for Naruto to get there before anyone else could react. Even Neji was scared. He had noticed the abrupt changes that Naruto had gone through in the past and knew that he was currently unpredictable. Naruto was an enigma to Neji. But Naruto decided to get to the point and make things clear. He pulled Neji down and made sure Neji was leaning over enough before speaking in the older boy's ear. If I ever think for a second that you are ever about to hurt Hinata again, Naruto spoke, his voice taking on a dark and sadistically happy undertone, then I will crush your neck in my hand. How is that for fate deciding things for you? If you act, I am quite destined to react. Now, nod your head if you understand what I just said. Neji nodded as best he could with the grip the younger shinobi had had. Good. Naruto responded before letting go of Neji, and backing up a step. Everyone thought it was over until Naruto acted once again. He quickly spun around with his leg extending before sending the stunned Hyuga flying into the wall, leaving an imprint in the concrete. The proctor was stunned. Short break before we resume matches. he said, trying to wrap his mind around what had just happened. Naruto kept walking though. He was tempted to kill Neji when he had the chance, but it would have only caused problems. Naruto's own match also went well. Kiba was not in top condition, so it wasn't hard to get several clones to distract him and Akamaru before the real one employed the double suicide decapitation technique. After the preliminaries were over, they were given a month to train before the finals, and Naruto was going to make the most of it. While Naruto did have his clones working on his pet project, he did intend on finding someone to help train him for the time being. It didn't take much time for him to rule out many on the list. Even Kakashi was gone. He had opted to help Sasuke. Speaking of Kakashi, wasn't that his perverted giggle? Naruto wondered as he heard something so familiar. When he found the source, he saw someone he had read about. The perverted toad sage himself, Jiraiya of the legendary Sannin. Naruto just found his temporary sensei. Hey, old man, Naruto said, tapping on his shoulder. Jiraiya looked at him. What do you want, kid? Don't you see I'm busy doing research? Ah, yes, the kind of research that might be ruined should anyone, I don't know, say, me decided to yell, I don't know, look a pervert. Right here next to this conveniently placed women's hot springs that is visited often by kunoichi. I'm sure you would like to get back to it. Don't let my next few words disturb you. Naruto said before drawing in breath in an over-exaggerated fashion as if he was about to yell. Jiraiya panicked, flailing his hands to stop him. Wait, there is no reason to do that. I'm sure we can come to some sort of arrangement. Let me ask that again, what do you want? Well, Naruto dragged out while holding a pose like he was deep in thought. Oh, I know. I'm currently in the Chunin exams and need someone to help me train during the next month. What? You can't be serious. If you still want me to start telling people that the Ero-Sannin is back in Konoha, then by all means I will be happy to oblige. Jiraiya scowled at the name but knew he was cornered. If he didn't go ling with it, then he would have to get some actual work done. He at least wanted to get some research out of the way first, and throwing this kid a bone would guarantee that. Fine, I'll help you train. Now what do you want me to help you train in? That is simple. I would like you to help me train in my kenjutsu, taijutsu, and chakra control. Well, we had better get right to that then. Break. To put things simply, Naruto was currently falling off a cliff. A more precise way of putting it would be that he was pushed. Over the past couple of weeks, Jiraiya had been training in his kenjutsu, taijutsu, and chakra control. While working on his kenjutsu, he had used a generic sword so Jiraiya wouldn't recognize the blade. His taijutsu had become on par with most high-level Chunin. When they started working on his chakra control, Jiraiya had done 3 things. The first was that Jiraiya had Naruto sign the toad summoning contract. The second was that he had Naruto work on the water walking in order to be better prepared for what he was going to do next. It was time for Naruto to try working with the Kyuubi's chakra. In order to force Naruto to interact with the Kyuubi, Jiraiya pushed Naruto off a cliff. This is where we come in as Naruto enters his Mindscape. It didn't take long for Naruto to navigate what appeared to be a basement of an industrial plant, with pipes running along the ceiling and the floor, that was slightly flooded as the pipes leaked. When Naruto came into a giant room, the first thing he noticed was the giant cage in front of him. He approached it and saw what he was looking for. The Kyuubi. It had known he was there from the beginning, so it was already looking at him when he entered. Come closer, it said as Naruto approached the cage but stopped when he noticed its claw move. You were going to try and stab me through the cage. Very perceptive. I didn't think I would get you, but thought it worth a try. You are much smarter than some give you credit for. I'm not sure if I should take that as a compliment or not. I was commenting your intelligence, take it as you wish. But you are here for a reason, aren't you? It wasn't a question. I need to use your chakra for the time being. At least until I am strong enough to not need it. You certainly are direct. First, do tell me what you are currently thinking about the current situation of the village and those in it. I trust almost none of them. But you already know that. You already know just about everything I'm thinking about what's going on. I can sense that Orochimaru wasn't here just to give Sasuke that curse mark. It was too simple for a man like him. With Orochimaru nothing is ever simple. And then Jiraiya is here. He has helped me these past few weeks, but I can sense that he has ulterior motives. I just don't know what they are. I don't trust him, especially considering he was supposed to be here for me all this time but wasn't. However, right now I have more pressing matters to deal with. You mean your contingencies and plans. So what are you going to do? That depends on them. I would like to talk to you at a later time, and for now just want to get this done. Of course. Take the chakra. Think of it as rent if you want. I must admit that this cage is much more comfortable than my previous seal. Not to mention that if you die I die. Yes, I read my mother's notes about what her Mindscape put you in. Naruto said as he left, feeling the power now at his disposal as he summoned the Chief Toad, causing Jiraiya to smirk. Things were moving along and not even Naruto could stop them now. Break. The rest of his month-long break from the Chunin exams had left Naruto ready for anything. He was prepared to fight Neji and had prepared himself for anything else the day might bring. Naruto could feel something coming. And it was coming soon. For all the time during his training the QB had yet to speak with him, but for now it was fine. He watched the rest of the matches without much interest, aside from the fact that Kankuro forfeited his match. Naruto didn't see him as the type of person to simply give the other person a victory. However, it was now time for his fight against Neji. Neji was as overconfident as usual. Naruto may have taken him by surprise before, but he was already tired from fighting Hinata and was unprepared. Now it was just the two of them, and fate was on his side. Meanwhile Naruto could look at Neji and see the arrogance. He was still stuck on his obsession with fate. It was time to truly crush him under the weight of the truth that fate had nothing to do with anything. You carve your own path. Just before the fight was about to start the Hokage was getting a report. And you are sure that he has been here for the past month? He has been here for at least that long. The Anbu in front of him replied. He was training Uzumaki Naruto during the break period between the preliminaries and now. That stupid toad. The Hokage growled as he pounded his fist into his chair. I told him it was urgent and he completely blew it off. No doubt Naruto used blackmail to get him to help with his training. Probably not telling everyone he was here. As soon as the finals are over I want him paralyzed while he is conducting his research, while someone makes his presence known. Keep him alive though. After that I want him tied up in an uncomfortable fashion and brought to my office. That is an order meant to be taken 100% seriously. The Anbu nodded at their orders and disappeared. Back to Naruto and Neji, the fight had started and they just stood there staring each other down. You know you will lose Uzumaki, it has already been decided by fate that I shall win. Can it? I don't believe that trash one bit, and when I'm done you will see that it is nothing but garbage. Naruto yelled as he quickly rushed Neji. Neji quickly knocked Naruto aside before seeing him burst into smoke. A shadow clone. When he looked around for the blonde he couldn't see him. Before he could react hands came up from the ground and grabbed his ankles. Before they pull him underground he quickly broke the grip they had and backed away. It took him only a moment to activate his Byakugan and saw that Naruto was underground. However he didn't stay there long as climbed out of the ground. Well, the Byakugan, now things are getting serious. I hope you have heard of my signature Justu, because if not this is going to confuse you. Naruto said before 20 clones popped into existence beside him. Neji was now panicking. He couldn't tell where the real one was. They all had the same chakra. That meant he just needed to deal with all of them. This decision reached him just before he rushed in to take on the clones. He quickly dispelled all of them to see the last one standing in front him smirking. Just as Naruto started running to go for a punch, Neji started to spin around, thus scraping Naruto's fist as he pulled back at the last second, trying to avoid the defensive move, Kaiten, often described as the perfect defense. This was going to be fun. Naruto shook his hand to ignore the scrapes and jumped away a few feet. To tell Neji, what drives your passion for fate? Neji looked at him for a moment before lifting his headband. He was showing the caged bird seal. The fate of a branch family member is this mark. Fate is unavoidable. I was fated to be a branch member and this is where I am fated to be. These eyes of mine show me many things. One thing they've shown me, people's limitations are set, fixed, and unchangeable. Only a fool wastes his time trying to become something he can never be. The only destiny that everyone shares, is death. And this mark represents a mark of the bird in a cage. It is the symbol of being tied down to an inescapable destiny. Neji responded before telling about how his father was forced to die in his uncle's place, and how that is the fate of a branch member, to serve and give their lives for the main family. I am sorry to hear that you believe fate determines everything. I am also sorry for the life you have had so far. However, this is as far as you go. No, this is as far as you go, you are within my range. Neji said as he got into position. 8 trigrams 64 palms. All Naruto could do was stand there and take it as the jutsu closed off his tenketsu. When Neji was done, Naruto was still standing there but was slightly hunched over. You have lost Uzumaki. No, I have not. You once told Hinata that people are judged by the true nature. It is the way of the world. That is why we have elite, and that is why we have outcasts. We can change our physical appearance and improve our skills with training and study, but ultimately, we are judged by what we cannot change. What can't be changed must be endured. We are who we are, and we must live with it. And you know what? You were right about that, but not in the way you think. People are judged by who they are, but in the end we are who we are and it can't be changed. Everyone has burdens, things that define them, and these things can often never be changed. They must be lived with, but it is our ability to live with them, accept them, and know that it makes us strong enough to do what we believe in. Who we are can be changed, and what we decide to do with who we are is what matters. It is not what others decide to do with who we are that matters, because if you truly believe that, then you have not accepted burdens you must live with, you have accepted shackles that bind you in such a way you can't even see that you hold the key. Do not accept your existence on fate. Screw fate, carve your own path. Naruto yelled the last part as he felt chakra flowing through him. He had called upon the Kyuubi's chakra to reopen his pathways before forming several dozen clones. It is my ability to take what was given to me and make it my own, that allowed me to get this far. It is because I didn't just accept my fate, I built myself to this point. Now, you have lost. Naruto said as his clones quickly went in and systematically disabled Neji until he was knocked out. Your reliance on fate is what brought you here. Take your fate, and bend it to your will to create a path no one can ever get in the way of. Fate is a set of unchangeable events. The only fate one should take is that which has already happened, because that can never be changed. However, destiny is the unchangeable future. And that is garbage. Everyone carves their own path with the fate of what has happened, to make a new future that is created by those who shape it, not by destiny. Naruto said as he walked away. Break. After the fight with Neji, Naruto's day proceeded to go downhill from there. Sasuke had kept everyone waiting and just when they were about to disqualify him he made an over-exaggerated entrance. To say things had gone wrong after that would be less than the reality of things. When Gaara saw his own blood he lost it and then things went right down the crapper. Orochimaru had started an invasion by activating a genjutsu that made most of the crowd fall asleep. Many of them quickly escaped and started getting others out. Naruto was in it for less than half a second because Kyuubi had altered his chakra flow seeing as how his chakra was still there to do so for the moment. Naruto had decided to make himself useful and gathered Hinata, Shino, and Anko to follow Gaara. As they made their way out they were followed by Shikamaru and Kakashi. As they went on Kakashi and Anko split up to take on Temari and Kankuro. This left Naruto, Shino, and Hinata facing Gaara. The fight went badly with Gaara now pinning Shino and Hinata to trees in his partial Biju form, demanding that Naruto fight him. So, I was right. You are a Jinchuriki, just like me. Gaara's face took on a slightly shocked appearance. What do you mean? There is no way. These people try to protect you, fight by you, and are your friends. How can you be like me? The answer to your question is that the circumstances and choices in our lives changed dramatically. Things went wrong for both of us. It is hard, especially considering that one of them is the Ichibis, but I can see in your eyes the pain you have suffered. Beneath the hatred and indifference, you have suffered betrayal, loneliness beyond anything I could imagine, and raw hatred that over time simply consumed you. Naruto saw as Gaara started to experience everything that turned him into what he was. I have been through different things, but I chose to keep trying no matter what they threw at me. You've met with a terrible fate, haven't you? But you chose to become what everyone thought of you, instead of creating your own path and staying in the light. So allow me now, to be your friend. Together we can change this world's view of us. Naruto said as he reached out his hand towards Gaara. Gaara was looking at him with shock and tears on his face. How could one be given such a burden and keep walking down such a path? Gaara was thinking. Gaara started to reach his hand out to take Naruto's before he felt everything crash down on him. Blood. Give me blood. Gaara tried to fight it before he lost himself all at once and lost conciseness. It didn't take long as the Ichibi formed with Gaara lying on top of its head. Naruto had to react fast and quickly summoned the Chief Toad. As he stood on top of Gamabunta, he looked at the Shukaku. I need you to get me close. From a short distance I can jump on. After that you can go back. Are you sure about that? Yes. Now move. It didn't take long for Gamabunta to get in close and then disappear once Naruto was on the Ichibi. The moment Naruto got close to Gaara, he knew he needed to make the Ichibi hold still for him to concentrate. I guess it's time to do that. Naruto thought as he used chakra to keep himself standing while forming a number of hand seals before putting his arms out to the side and his palms away from him. Instantly chains started to emerge from all over his body and wrapped around the Shukaku, even going so far as to muzzle his mouth. With Ichibi holding still, Naruto quickly found Gaara's seal and put his hand on it before closing his eyes to concentrate. As Naruto moved, the chains extended and retracted as if they simply became the length needed. It took a few moments, and the seal was still weak, but the seal now stronger than before. Depending on how things go, Gaara would now be able to sleep. This was all evident as the beast started to fade away and the sand started to fall away. Naruto decided to go ahead and take Gaara to his friends before waking him up. Once he had Shino and Hinata together, he woke Gaara up. How? I was able to rewrite your seal so that it is at least stronger than before. You should even be able to sleep now, and the voice in your head should be easier to block. Gaara was shocked. He had gone through all this effort and still ended up helping him. If it wouldn't be too much trouble, I would like to accept that handshake now. Gaara said, obviously still weak from it all. Naruto reached out and they shook hands. So this is what it's like to have friends. Gaara thought before his siblings showed up. They didn't look too good, but before anyone could say anything they got Gaara and took off. Break. It had been a few days now since the Sandaim's funeral and Naruto was currently walking next to Jiraiya. Naruto had almost choked one of the old fools in the council for a particularly rude comment about him when they were discussing the topic of the next Hokage. However, the fact remained that they were currently on a trip to find said chosen person. Tsunade Senju, granddaughter of the Shodaime and chosen Godaime. However, she was also missing due to her sadness and refusal to return to the village. That was where Naruto and Jiraiya come in, as it was their job to find her and bring her back. They had been practicing, and sparing along the way, and Jiraiya had started to teach Naruto the Rasengan. Naruto had been training Herder and was becoming better in his Kenjutsu, Taijutsu, and chakra control as they went, and he had even been able to move on to the second stage of the Rasengan. Naruto was currently thinking about some things as they walked into a village that Jiraiya claimed Tsunade had been sighted in. Naruto was leaning more towards it was because this place had a bathhouse that was popular among women in the area. However, Naruto was forced to redact the thought, if only somewhat, when they managed to find Tsunade in a bar. As they approached her, they could see she was tensing up, as if she knew they were there for a reason she wouldn't like. In all actuality, Naruto knew that was exactly what they were there for. Hello there, Haim. Jiraiya said as they walked up to her. What do you want, Jiraiya? Jiraiya-sensei, can try to handle this. Based on the fact that she looks like she wants to break your bones, I think I might get better results. Naruto interrupted. Alright, give it a try. Jiraiya said, backing away to give them room. Alright brat, what are you two here for? Tsunade asked and Naruto sat down. The Sandaime was killed by Orochimaru, and we are here to retrieve the chosen Godaime. That means we are here for you. Ha, not going to happen. So you are content to sit here in your own drunken self-worthlessness. I honestly don't know why they want you to take this position. You're truly a pathetic. Watch it, brat, I could still take you down with one finger. As fun as it would be to watch you try, I had enough fights with drunken people back when I went to Wave. However, how about we settle it on a gamble? I'm listening. She couldn't pass up a good chance to win some money. If I can master the Rasengan within the next 3 days, you come back and accept the post of Godaime Hokage. And if you lose, Jiraiya will give you all the money he currently has on him. Alright, I accept. Good. Naruto said as he stood up. When he got to Jiraiya, he had the Toad Sage walk next to him before he kept talking. She will be coming back with us in a few days. From what you told me, I know she couldn't resist a bet. Oh, so what were the stakes? That I will master the Rasengan within the next few days. If I win, she comes back with us, and if I lose, you give her all the money you currently have on you. What? You can't just bet my money like that. The fact that I just did proves how wrong you are. Grr, it's not just that. There is no way you can finish the Rasengan in such a short time. Yes, I will, and the fact that none of you believe I can shows why it was a good bet to make. Trust me, Jiraiya. Fine, head back the hotel room we got. I'll meet up with you later. When Naruto got there, he made a quick hand seal before gripping his head in pain. Crap, that hurts. But I don't have time to do it slowly, Naruto said, once again trying to compose himself. Once he got over the pain, he sat down so he could get back to work on the Rasengan. However, before he could get back to it though, he heard a knock at the door. When he opened it, he was surprised to see Itachi and his Akatsuki partner, Kisame Hoshigaki. Itachi was the first to speak. Naruto, you will be coming with us. Hey Itachi, can we cut off his legs to make it easier? Look, as fun as that sounds, I am going to have to decline that offer. Naruto responded before closing the door. Itachi, he just closed the door like we were room service. Kisame said with disbelief on his face. So he did, you can break the door. With pleasure, Kisame said before destroying the door. However, he was shocked to find Naruto coming at him with his fist. Before Kisame could pull back to block it, Naruto was able to fly past with his fist connecting with Kisame's face. Before either Akatsuki members could recover their shock, Naruto took off, leaving behind several clones for them to deal with. That should keep them busy until I find Ero-sanin, Naruto thought as he took off. Break. That should keep them busy until I find Ero-sanin, Naruto thought as he took off. Break. That night, Jiraiya was sitting in Tsunade's room talking to her. So today the Akatsuki I've been trying to gather information on made a move to capture Naruto. I'm telling you, if you come back it will work. You and I both know he isn't their son. Sensei told us himself. He just named Naruto that to honor them. I know that, Jiraiya. I was there. But we can't simply. Of course we can. I have things set up perfectly. With you as the Hokage, and the fact that the most people in Konoha hate him, it won't be difficult to do. Besides, I already have him using it, so it will be simple. You and I both know that with him only containing half, it can't reform later. It seeds at least part of its other half for it be able to do that. Fine, I'll take it under consideration. But I still want to wait for this bet to be over so I can get your money. Break. They were currently on their way back to Konoha with Tsunade and her apprentice Shizune. Naruto had surly shocked them all when Naruto had intervened with the fight between them, Orochimaru, and his lapdog Kabuto. Naruto had sent in several clones out onto the field and had them charge the battlefield with either a sword or in their taijutsu stances. Most went after Orochimaru, but Naruto took 3 clones with him to take on Kabuto. While 2 of the clones had swords, Naruto and 1 of the clones were ready to use taijutsu. Naruto and his clones quickly engaged, putting Kabuto on the defensive as he dodged sword strikes and punches from Naruto. However, while the clones kept him busy, Naruto made more clones to keep him occupied. One of the clones quickly lunged, grabbing onto Kabuto's left leg. Before he could stab the clone with his chakra scalpel, another clone took the opening to grab onto Kabuto's right arm. The rest of the clones took advantage of his state and stabbed their swords into Kabuto to hold him down before grabbing onto him to keep him from fighting. He was trying to escape when he noticed the real Naruto rushing towards him with a Rasengan in hand. He couldn't do anything as he was forced to take the Rasengan to the chest. However, before they could finish Kabuto and Orochimaru, they were able to get away. This brought him to the gates of Konoha as Naruto had won the bet. Now that finding the new Hokage was over, he needed to go home and prepare some things. He had a feeling that things were not over. He didn't know why, but he could feel the danger approaching. This is it. I can feel it. A decision will be made soon as to the paths I will be limited to. Things are moving ahead quite nicely. I might not have been promoted for the Chunin exams, but rank matters little when you are stronger than most people. Now I just need to make sure that I am stronger than most people. Naruto was currently standing in front of the Godime Hokage Tsunade, Senju and Jiraiya. He had been called into there about something important. The new Hokage was handing him a scroll with his name and a seal on it. What is this? He asked. As far as we can tell, Sensei left this and another scroll for you in his will. Tsunade said, handing him another scroll that was in the same state as the first. What are these seals on them? Naruto asked, even though he had a good idea. Those are blood seals. Jiraiya responded. They keep the scrolls closed and only released by the blood of the people they are registered to. From what we can tell, you and Sensei are the only ones able to open them. And with him dead, that only leaves you. We tried but they didn't respond to us. Alright, thank you. I'll take these then, Naruto said as he turned to leave. He stopped when he got to the door. He was like a grandfather to me, so I think I know how you two are feeling about this. I'm sorry for your loss. And as for yours, Tsunade replied as Naruto left. So, I looked into it and found that he hasn't been seen near his apartment in the past few months. Not since he became a genin. Jiraiya said once Naruto was gone. What are you thinking? I think there's something he isn't telling us. Do you think it's important enough to look into? Maybe, we'll see, Jiraiya said as he took off out the window. As they were talking, Naruto was silently cursing under his breath. He had managed to figure out that Jiraiya had gone poking around his old apartment. At this rate things could become difficult. However, for the time being he was entering his home and headed for his office. Once he got in, he put the two scrolls down on his desk and stared at them for a moment before picking one of them up. Once he unsealed it, he found several sealing arrays filled with books, jutsu scrolls, as well as some of the third's personal effects, and his battle armor. I wonder how that got in here. He probably had spares and sealed one of them in here for me in case he died in battle. In the second one he found one much more sensitive. It was a letter from Hiruzen. Naruto started to read over it and once he was finished did it again. Naruto, if you are reading this then I am dead. I'm sorry I could never get your trust back. Granted, I don't know if I deserved it. I betrayed your trust. However, I now face a problem as I write this. I was never able to rectify one of my greatest mistakes and now I must leave it in your hands to fix for me. My lack of trust was at an all-time high shortly before your birth due to Orochimaru and him leaving Konoha a few years before your birth. I started trying to fix this mistake a few days after I told you about your parents, but if you are reading this I died before I could do it as I was going to change this letter once I did. But to get to the point, I didn't trust people and that has cost me dearly. I never told Jiraiya or Tsunade about you parents. As a matter of fact, I told them you were not their son and that your name was merely to honor them and nothing more. I did this because with them both out of the village I didn't think I could trust them. It took a lot to get Tsunade to come back as she was already in her drunken misery at the time and I didn't know what she might say while drunk. Jiraiya, as you no doubt know, was not a hard person for women to get close to. Once again I didn't know how safe the information would be with him. While I tried to protect you I very well might have only brought you more danger. I am sorry and I hope that one day you can forgive me, even though I would understand if you didn't. I trust you now Naruto with most of what I have gathered over the years and hope that you find your path through all that has happened and whatever challenges you face in the future. I leave this all in your hands Naruto. Goodbye. The third Hokage, Hiruzen Sarutobi. Naruto sat there for a moment, thinking about what to do now. The mistakes of Hiruzen Sarutobi were starting to become a source of trouble for Naruto. However, this did explain several things. It explained why they weren't there for him, and also explained why he sensed an ulterior motive coming from Jiraiya. Now what to do about this letter? I will not allow my name to protect me. I want to know what they do while thinking that I'm not the son of their friend. I will reveal it to them in time, but for now I want to see how they act. This is now my secret to do with as I please. I will not simply give out my trust, it must be earned. It comes at the cost of passing my tests. It's time to see if they can do that. Naruto thought to himself. I do wonder though, what will they do next? I don't have long before something happens. I can feel it, Naruto thought as he headed out. He had some things he needed to do. Break. Naruto was currently about to talk to Neji, who he was able to find at one of the training grounds. Once he entered the clearing Neji noticed him almost instantly and turned to face him. Hello Uzumaki, I'm glad you are here, because I wanted to talk to you. Neji said once Naruto was close enough. Oh, and what would that be? I only asked because I also wanted to talk to you. I wanted to thank you. What for? Before I fought you, I believed that no one could advance to become better than what the station they were born in gave them. However, you showed me that anyone could grow to become even stronger than anyone else around them with enough work. As a matter of fact, thanks to you, I had a talk with my uncle. He told me some things that truly changed my views. I thank you for what you have done. You're welcome. It took me time and effort to get to where I am. So now, I wonder if I could call you my friend and ally. Naruto said as he reached out his hand. Yes, a friend and ally. Funny enough, I don't think I have ever truly thought of someone as a friend until now. Neji said, and he shook Naruto's hand in a sign of friendship. Well, now I have another friend. One more person that I hope to one day stand beside as an ally. However, for now I must go. It's getting late and I still have something to do. Of course. Neji responded before Naruto turned and left. Break. It had been a few days since Naruto had talked to Neji, and he was currently standing on top of the head of Hashirama Senju's statue at the Valley of the End. He was looking at Sasuke standing on top of the statue of Madara Uchiha. Sasuke, what are doing? What do you think you can gain from a madman like Orochimaru? The power I need to confront my brother and get answers from him. What you told me shows that I don't know everything about that night. I need answers from him and I need power to do that. You truly are a fool. You might as well join Itachi. What are you talking about? Orochimaru killed the Sandaime, and for the longest time he was the closest thing I had to family. Yet you would join him. Shut up. I need to do this. What if I told you that I can give you the power needed to confront your brother? What do you mean? If you take the strength needed to fight Itachi and take two people whose combined ability adds up to that needed strength, then there is not nearly as much time needed to become as strong as you need to be to fight him alone. Allow your friends to help you fight him. No one ever said you needed to fight him alone. Sasuke's eyes widened slightly at what Naruto said. He didn't have to fight him alone. But Itachi was his brother, it was his responsibility. Naruto, thank you. However, this is something I must do on my own. However, for what it's worth, after all the missions, that near-death experience we had on that one mission. We had to gather information from a mark in the women's side of a bathhouse and Kakashi sneezed. Funny enough, we should have sent Sakura in and viewed from afar. Yeah, I have to wonder why she was the only one not there. However, after all of that I have come to think of you almost as a brother in all but blood, so I am sorry. Sasuke said as he turned to face Naruto, his curse mark flaring to life. I will return once I have my answers. Naruto knew that trying to convince him further wouldn't work. He would have to tell him about Itachi when they got back to the village. It would be the only way to right a few wrongs that have been created by Konoha. Hey Fox, mind giving me a bit of a boost? I'm stronger, but that curse mark puts him at a higher level than I am now. His response was the feeling of extra chakra flowing through him as a red shroud started to wrap around him, changing some of his features as a tail of red chakra formed behind him. So, it would seem I'm not the only one with a strange power. When I get back, you're going to have to tell me about it. Sasuke said with a smile, as if he was talking about being back tomorrow. I can't let you leave. Don't think it's because of my loyalty to the village or my orders, Sasuke. It's because of my loyalty to those who have my trust and to my friends. So I will stop you because I already gave my word. Naruto said as he got ready to fight. Sasuke also got ready to fight before they both launched at each other. Break. Naruto was currently struggling to walk back to the village. His fight with Sasuke had been difficult and had pushed him to his limits. He had almost exhausted all of his chakra but had regained some of it by dispersing the clones he had working on his project at his home, and used the boost to finish it. He had been pushed to 3 tails when Sasuke had activated his level 2 curse mark. However, he was currently struggling to get back right now, primarily because he had 2 already healing holes in his left chest and right shoulder, and the fact that he was carrying Sasuke on his back. When Sasuke was walking away and apologizing for what he had done to Naruto, Naruto had used the last of his energy from the clones to slam a weak and low-powered Rasengan into Sasuke's back. It had only knocked him out because of how weak it was, but had gotten the job done. Naruto had been brought from his musings as he saw the gate come into sight as well as 2 figures standing in front of it. The road to the gate was usually busy, but with the things that happened in the past few weeks, As Naruto got closer, he could started to get a bad feeling. Why are two Anbu waiting for me? I could understand the two guards waiting for me, but this isn't important enough for them to send Anbu. Something isn't right here. Naruto thought before making a small, unseen, hand seal as the Anbu started to move closer to him. Naruto was about to ask what they were doing here before one of the Anbu left his sight and everything went black. Break. When Naruto came to, he was laying against the stone wall of a cell. The entire cell was stone, aside from the steel bars that made up the door and small windows that let in light and linked the cell to its neighboring cells, though those were smaller than the one letting in light. Where am I? The last thing I remember was the Anbu, and then Naruto stopped thinking as he realized what had happened. They betrayed me. I trusted these people and they betrayed me. But why? Why did they put me in here, and what do they plan to do with me now? Naruto thought before he heard someone walking closer to his cell. When they stopped in front of his, he looked up to see Tsunade and Jiraiya standing there. You're awake. Good. That means we can talk about what happened. Yes, I'm a bit curious as to why I'm in this cell, so talking might be a good place to start before I tear this place apart. Not going to happen, kid. Jiraiya spoke up. This place is meant for shinobi prisoners. The whole cell is covered with seals to keep a person from using their chakra. Not to mention we slapped you with a few of them, including some to suppress the QB. Overkill, don't you think? Naruto asked with a joking tone. The two Sannin weren't laughing. Oh well, then tell me why I'm in here. To get rid of the threat. Tsunade replied, as Naruto sat up and composed himself. I was one of the people who discovered that the QB incident was not an accident. The last Jinchuriki of the QB had it extracted before it was used against the village and then sealed into you by the Yondaime. I also managed to find out that he took part of the QB and sealed it into himself before he died. Without that other half, when you die it won't regenerate in a few years. Jiraiya included. So you intend to kill me so that the QB will die? They nodded. So when Jiraiya pushed me off a cliff, that's what the QB meant when he said that if I die he dies. How about, instead of you keeping me in here, I make a deal with you. You let me out of here, we pretend this never happened, you owe me 2 favors each, and I also forget you ever locked me in here. And what if refuse? Tsunade asked, not liking where this was going. You have 3 days to accept the other deal. Because, if you keep me locked in here after the 3 days are up, another deal will be put into place. You keep me in here, and I swear that I will kill you all. But wait, there's more. I'll make sure that some people die in some excruciatingly painful ways. Naruto said with a sadistic smile growing on his face. Even more reason to keep you right where you are until your execution. Jiraiya said. I do have to wonder how you got approval to do this. It wasn't hard since most the council hates you and that I'm the Hokage. Once we had a sensory type watch your fight and see you unleash so much of the QB's chakra, it was easy to have many of them agreeing with it. Tsunade said. Let me ask you this, how long have you two been planning this? I have been planning this for a while, but Tsunade only got in on this when we picked her up in that town to bring her back. Jiraiya answered. I figured that this was your plan. She was too drunk and you two are too stupid to come up with this in such a short time. Can it? If you think trying to make us angry will help you, it won't. We're going to give you a pubic execution once everything is ready. Jiraiya said. I can't wait. Now leave, I'm tired. Naruto said as he laid back down. Before they could say anything, Naruto was asleep and they could tell they weren't going to get further response from him. When Naruto woke up again, he could hear a noise from the cell to the right of his. Tack asterisk tack asterisk tack. In reality, his neighbor was throwing a small piece of stone at the wall. Do you really need to keep doing that? Naruto asked. The noise stopped. Why the hell should I fool? I'm the fool. From your voice, and if I remember correctly, your name is Tayuya, correct? Yes, that is my name. But from what I heard, you actually fell for a trap laid out for you a long time ago. Yes, I was betrayed. I trusted them and they betrayed me. However, so were you. How did you pull that one out of your anus? Simple. Orochimaru could be here right now, getting you out. A Sannin as powerful and sneaky as him would have no problem getting you out of here and being gone before anyone knew what was happening. Yet here you are, sitting in a cell next to me. Shut up. I'm sure that there are things keeping him from doing so. Yes, I'm sure there is. Probably the fact that with you in here you are no longer worth anything to him. To him you are nothing more than a broken tool. Shut up, I am a part of Orochimaru's personal guard. You were a member of his guard. You stopped guarding him the moment you were left behind to keep Sasuke moving forward, and became little more than failed experiments when you lost your individual fights. You know I'm right. He doesn't even care that you're still alive. So tell me, how did you wind up in here? Naruto asked, breaking away from the original conversation. You just changed the subject, moron. Yes, I did. Now, would you answer me question? There was an audible sigh. I don't even know. Last thing I remember before waking up in this crap hole was being crushed by a tree. Well, if I only said one thing about that, it would be that you should count yourself lucky to be alive. Oh, yes, I'm so happy to still be alive so I can sit in this cell and be tortured for information until they no longer need me alive. Tayuya's voice came through the window along with a wave of sarcasm. Naruto sighed before his eyes widened slightly and then went back to normal. He sighed again before standing up and walking to the door of his cell and looking around. He couldn't see much, but from what he could tell there wasn't anyone around. He then walked to the window he was talking to Tayuya through. Do you know if anyone is around? No one should be right now. Why? Because I want to ask you something, and I don't want them hearing it. You and I were both betrayed, so if I were able to get you out, would you take up the bargain that comes with it? What are you talking about? If I get you out of here, will you agree to do something for me? Like what? When you get out, head east and slightly south until you get to the southernmost part of the land of hot water and there will be a small village. Go there and wait for me to get there. Then I will offer you a new lease on life. As long as you do that and agree to give my next offer once I meet you there a chance, then you will be out of here within the next 52 hours. Oh, and what about my friends? Even I have morals. So you weren't the only survivor. No, all of the original Sound 4 survived and at least 200 Sound Shinobi were captured. Granted, at least 50 of those were killed already. The only person I know for sure didn't make it was Kimimaro. I don't know why he was the only one of the Sound 5 who didn't survive. I'll tell you what, Naruto said, leaning against the wall and putting his face against the bars of the window so he could barely see part of her head, as long as you ensure that as many of them come with you as possible. Alright, I'll accept. I'll accept just because of how impossible and outlandish that plan is. Oh, don't you know, part of my reputation is for making the impossible, possible. Alright, just for that, I'll make sure to do just that the moment we're out of here. I can't guarantee that all of them will be out of here, it will be difficult to get out as many as I will. Naruto said as he started to smile like a madman. I can accept that. Good. Break. Naruto was currently sitting by the door to his cell. It had been 51.5 hours and Naruto had been subject to some people coming in and torturing him. He had also heard Tayuya being tortured. However, they were actually trying to get information out of her rather simply beating him because they hated him. However, Naruto was listening to Tayuya calling him a liar about his deal. She had never expected him to deliver and was just mocking him now. Be quiet, Tayuya, watch the show unfold. What shush? She was interrupted by an explosion coming from down the hall. The reaction was immediate as Shinobi appeared in the hall to respond. They didn't get more than a few feet before kunai came out of the smoke and pinned their arms to the walls. Before they could do anything to get away, a figure came out of the smoke. The figure's form said that they were obviously male. The figure was wearing black, featureless pants, a shirt designed the same way, and a large black trench coat that was open and had a hood that was up. This hood kept the shadows over most his face while a small cloth covered the rest of it. The other distinguishable detail about him was that he had a large scythe over his shoulders, behind his head, and with his forearms draped over its long handle as if the current situation was nothing to him. He moved over and knocked out the shinobi pinned to the wall with his elbows. His head turned to their cells before he gripped his scythe with his right hand closer to the blade and the left lower down as he readied the weapon. It took him no time at all to bring it down and rip apart the door to Tayuya's cell. Before he could do anything more, Ibiki Morino, who attacked him with his own blades, a kunai in his right hand and a tanto in his left hand. However, before he could do any damage, the figure brought his scythe down. He used the blade to block his tanto and the handle to block his kunai. He quickly pushed Ibiki back. Before Ibiki could react, the man let his left hand release his weapon before he relaxed, and black shapes started to emerge from his body. When enough of them came out of him, they could be identified as more of the figure as they simply phased out of his body. What kind of clones are those? I've never heard of someone being able to do something like this. Then the figure spoke, his voice sounding deep and distorted. Hold him and get to work. I'm going to get to my own job, he said as one of his clones went in and grabbed Tayuya before taking off like the rest of them. Before Ibiki could shake himself of his surprise, the figure pulled his scythe out of the ground and used the handle of it to pull Ibiki's feet out from under him. The man walked up to him and stepped on Ibiki's fingers when he tried to reach for his tanto. I'm letting you live so that the future can be more fun, the figure said before knocking Ibiki out. He turned to leave. Hey, aren't you going to let me out too? Naruto asked. No, and you know why, so don't ask, the figure responded before walking back out of the hole he came in through. Break. There was currently a man walking through the woods. He was wearing a traveling cloak that was buttoned closed and with the hood up. He was hunched over so his face was hidden. When he come to a clearing with a 2-story Japanese-style home with white walls and black roofing. He walked up to it before stopping 5 feet away. He pulled out a scroll from within his cloak before setting it down on the ground and opening it to reveal a large and complex ceiling array that was also empty. He put his hands on the scroll before the ceiling array extended over the ground in front of him and under the house. When the array was all over the ground in front of him and under the house, chains shot out of the ground and wrapped around and all over the house. As the chains made contact with the building, they became flat before morphing into seals all over the walls, supports, and roofing. In an instant there was a burst of smoke as the building disappeared. When the man stood up, he looked at the scroll. In the middle of the ceiling array was the kanji 4 home. He put the scroll back away in his cloak and turned around. The moment he got beyond the trees, he disappeared. Break. Later that night, Tayuya was running through the woods rallying the rest of the sound shinobi so they could all meet at the same place. Once she had them all, including the rest of the Sound 4, she told them that the next orders were to meet in a village in the south of the Land of Hot Water. She had plenty of arguments about it, but the rest of the Sound 4 knew they had no orders and decided to ask her about it on the way. Once they were on their way, Tayuya refused to tell them and said they would know soon. Sakan and Akon tried to play the leader card but still got nothing. They were curious about these orders and decided to wait. I can't believe I'm actually doing this. But the fool did follow through on his part. I wonder what else he can do. Heck, he even got all but 13 of them, and they were dead before any of that escape ever happened. I wonder what's going to happen once he meets us there. Break. Naruto was currently sitting in his cell. He had been interrogated about the attack, but when he pointed out that he was still here and everyone but him was long gone, they simply dropped the matter. Now he was currently sitting in the dark corner of his cell as the moon was the only light source right now. I still can't believe that it actually turned out like this, came his voice from the dark corner of the cell. It would seem that the decision to plan for many large things including this was quite the wise decision. Even though this betrayal shocked him, he could no longer stop himself from smirking as everything was going according to plan. I still can't believe that it turned out this way. Oh well, all that's left is to sit and wait. However, he could not stop himself from thinking of all the events leading up to thought to himself as the memories of everything that had happened in the past few years went through his mind. Everything is going to get really busy here in the next few days. But why should that matter? It has all been going according to plan. Break. A figure was currently standing in a room with several people. He was wearing a dark, black, and tattered cloak. He looked at his gathered subordinates before speaking in his authoritative voice. Hello, I'm glad you all could make it on such short notice. I have recently gathered some new intel, he said as he pulled out several folders. Gozu, Meizu, pass these out to the rest of them. They complied and everyone started to read through the information they were given. We will be making our move within the next year. Be ready to move at any moment. You don't know when we will move, just like I don't know when we will make our move yet. Be ready, you are my elite generals. When I found most of you, I would have shrugged off anyone telling me I would say that to you in the future. However, in the last several months, bordering on a year, you have all grown more powerful. Now, I am placing important tasks in your hands. Don't fail me, he said before everyone took off except Gozu and Meizu. When I found you two tied to a tree, I almost laughed about your predicament, and now look at you two. Their armor was mostly unchanged, but was now more advanced. While before it wouldn't have stood up to much for extended periods of time, it could now withstand moderate damage for a long period of time. Their skills had also improved, as they could now be classified on the same level as most mid-level Jonin. Thank you, sir, Meizu said. Of course. Now what you need to know is that things won't stay as calm as they are now for very long. The game is about to change. Once everything is set up, I will fulfill my promise that I made to you two when I found you. Here soon I will end the war in Kiri. Here soon this world will change. That will be it for this video. If you want more, comment down below, like, subscribe. And see you guys later.